Hi, I'm Suzie from Lacquer Education, and your votes are in. You guys want to see PolyGel. Let's get started. So I have this beautiful box of PolyGel. Let's go through it together. Okay, so this is, I understand, the slip. So the idea behind PolyGel is that they're putting like a hybrid between gel polish and acrylic. So all the things we like about acrylic and all the things we like about gel are in this one product. Actually got a really nice, you can see this finish here. Oh, there's something on here. Additional contents are inside, more stuff. Okay, so this looks like a cleanser, and these are probably your bonders and dehydrators and hopefully top coat. And this is the spatula and the brush. Okay, so it says here there's something on the inside. So there's more stuff. Like stuff. Everybody likes stuff. Okay, we don't need that. Okay, this is a very hollow box. It's like Christmas. Just rip this stuff out.
I think you did it the hard way.
Okay. I don't know what this is. It must be important because there's 4 of them. I know what it is. When you get near the end, maybe to squeeze it through. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. Okay, and this is a sticker. And, oh, you can just register your salon. So the first thing you want to do is when we're doing any product is we want to buff the natural nail first. And I've got a file here, and that's what we're going to do. So I've got all these nails buffed, and I just saved one to buff. So I'm just going to lightly buff it. I've got all the other nails prepped and ready to go. I want to follow this step by step of how they say to do it. Don't want to miss anything. So I'm just making sure my nail is completely buffed. You can wash your hands first too to get all the germs off. Okay, now we've got our slip here and we've got the brush. Oh, what's in here? Oh, another little spatula. Okay, we'll just keep that in case we need it. Now we've got 4 colors here. We've got light pink, we've got cover pink, we've got bright white, and we've got natural clear. So what we have here is the Pro Bond, the pH bond, and the top coat. So this top coat looks like we're going to use it near the end. And this one is the dehydrator, so we're going to use it now. Like any dehydrator, you just want to gently coat each and every nail. And then will be the primer. Now primer, you don't want to get it on the skin. I'm going to be very gentle with it. Don't oversaturate your nail with the primer. Okay. Now this is also a nail surface cleanser. So we'll probably be able to wipe off the dust when we're finished before we do anything else. So now this is a slip. Now if you work with acrylic, it's a liquid and powder. So that's what gives this a feel of having it's not monomer, but it's giving you the feel of working with the bead and then working with a monomer, feeling like that. But this is not a monomer. This is called slip. And I would suspect that some type of alcohol solutions make it so that the gel doesn't stick to the brush, so you can actually mold it and shape it like an acrylic. So I've got a form here. Now this is so different because what I'm really interested in about it is because it just stays there. It doesn't move, which is really great. So let's start with the clear. This is the first color, it's a basic simple color. So let's just pick one of these nails and do a clear. I'm just gonna put a form on it because I'm going to extend these. I want to be able to see through it. Once I do the clear, I can see through it and see how it looks. And I also want to see how it extends out, right? Okay, where was the clear? The clear is here. Okay, what's so different about this stuff? It doesn't come in a pot like gel does, and it doesn't come in a pot like acrylic does. It comes in a tube. I don't think anything I've ever worked with ever has come in a tube. Oh, they got the little sealers. And so this is where your spatula comes involved. Look at this. So we're just going to squeeze it out of the tube. I'm not sure how much I need, but I'm just gonna pretend it's like a bead I'm putting on. And it slips right back down there. It doesn't come out at all. It just goes right back down inside, which is good. Okay, so I'm gonna put that guy on there. It ain't moving. Okay, so I'm gonna clean off this spatula because I don't want to get any stickies on there. That's one thing I do hate about gel, is that it can be so sticky. But this, it's not sticky at all. Oh, one thing they didn't supply was a little dish, but I do have one. I knew I needed one, so I thought I'd have one just in case we needed one. So this is just a dish that I'm gonna be able to put my slip inside. Okay. I'm just popping off this plastic. And I'm just gonna pour my slip inside here. There we go. I'm gonna put this on here. Because it is an alcohol base, I assume, I think that's what this is. Actually smells really nice.
Are there ingredients on it?
Yeah, but I don't read ingredients. Oh, you know what? That is, if it's alcohol based or whatever it is, it actually smells really nice. And in this industry, I can't say that about a lot because acrylic has a strong smell. Some clients just love it. I don't mind it at all. But some people don't like it. But this smells actually really good. Focus, Suzie. Okay, look at that. It's still in the same position as when I did this, right? It hasn't moved. Even if I lean it on the side, would it move? Oh, it might have moved a little bit. But it just goes right back if I just hold it that way. It's just with like gravity, right? But it's not going back. It's like solid.
What would happen if you use regular gel?
Most gels that I've worked with would just roll right off and roll into the cuticle, and you couldn't do that, which is kind of cool. Okay, you know what? I do need a little thing just to rest my lazy arm. Here we go. I'm so excited. Okay, so this is a new brush. You know what? It's probably, yeah, it's a new brush, so it just needs to be worked in a little bit. I like the shape of the brush, totally. And the reason why I should explain, the reason why I like the shape of this brush, you see how it's quite nicely shaped to the shape of the cuticle? See how it just fits right in? Look at that. Just, you can almost sit it right inside there and just polish it out. It's got a nice shape for the actual cuticle. Okay, here we go. I'm so excited. Okay, so I got some slip on my brush, and I'm just gonna, oh, you gotta press a little harder than I thought you would. Yeah. Okay, it is like an acrylic in that when you gather your bead, because for me, I love acrylic. That's my thing, right? For me, this is like my bead of acrylic. Except with acrylic, I gotta waste no time. I'm on the clock for shaping that before it cures. Whereas gel, you have all the time in the world to shape before it cures, which is a plus, but it's sticky and sometimes it runs a little. Now they are coming up with some gels that are actually being a little stiffer, which is great, but it's so sticky still. This doesn't have any stick to it. Now I imagine, yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I imagine the more I play with it, the more the alcohol, I assume, whatever this stuff is, the slip evaporates a little, it gets a little sticky. Not sticky like other gels, but sticky. So once I put the slip back on, it makes it, now I know why they call it slip. It makes it very easy to manipulate this bead that I've thrown down here. Very easy to manipulate them without being sticky. that's why this is great for acrylic artists like myself. One thing I hate about gel is because it's so sticky, but this is not. It feels very acrylic-like. It's actually very cool. And it doesn't smell. Karen, do you find there's any odor? What are you doing?
I'm smelling.
Well, you can smell without...
Well, nope.
You don't smell anything?
I don't smell anything at all, actually.
Look at that. We're having a chat here, and that is not moving. And I didn't even cure it yet. And it's not like acrylic where I can move it still because it's not. Acrylic would be cured a long time ago, right? But it's evaporated a little bit off my brush, so I'm going to just get in there and I'm just going to... It's quite fascinating. It's actually kind of fun. I like it. Okay, so I do think, though, that I do need to cure this before I add any more. Because if I add more, maybe I should just give it a whirl. Because the traditional gels, if I was to put more on there, it would kind of disturb what's already happened in there. I'd have to cure it first and then get another bead of gel before I start manipulating what's going on there. You don't want it to affect, but this might not do that. Let's just try. That's what this is about. I'm just going to get a little bit, though. See, it's just a little bit that I'm getting, because I just want a little bit to be added to the cuticle area. So I'm just going to now push this into the cuticle area and see how, doesn't seem to be bothered. It's just laying in there quite nicely. So this still comes down. It's not going to do everything for you, of course. You still comes down to technique and how smooth you're getting it near the cuticle area, which is you want it to be very, very smooth, because when it grows out for the client, there's nothing like telling how good your nail technician is. When it grows out about 10 days, that's how you can tell how good they are, because if it's a smooth grow out, they've made it nice and smooth near the cuticle and you can't see it grow. That's what you want. That is the tell. That's what we all strive for, right? That grow out. So adding it did not give it an attitude at all. It did not have a problem with that at all. So I just added it and it just blended beautifully. So I'm able to get, that's really great. This was some smart idea. And, it's actually kind of simple, really. So my suspicion is, and I'm not a chemist, but my suspicion is most of this is a gel-based product, because we are going to cure it under the light for it to cure. I think the only thing that's really acrylic-like about it, I don't think there's, obviously there's no powder, but what's acrylic-like about it is the fact that it is acting like a bead that just molds effortlessly once you get it down, But there's no dry time on it, which is just a great advantage. Okay, so I'm going to add another. I'm just going to go ahead and build this thing when I think it's just perfect, and then we can nuke it at the end and it's done. Look how that just laid in there. So I can do that with acrylic, but I do have a time frame I'm working on. What makes this so cool is there's no time frame. As like gel, right? No time frame at all. I can just go for lunch now. Want to go for lunch, Karen?
In a minute.
Okay. I was trying to prove a point.
To be frank, we already had lunch.
I was trying to make a point.
2 lunches is just too much.
I don't know. It depends on what it is. Now we'll see how it dries too. I'm not seeing that this is very clear, but acrylic can be quite cloudy until it fully dries, until you file it, right? To the new person catching on to this, it's really great for them, but for me it's so weird because it's so acrylic-like when I know it's a gel. It's cool. It's a very good idea. Wish I thought of it. You could just play until you sculpt it perfect, which is an advantage because when you're filing then, it just means you have less filing time because you can sculpt this perfectly and you can just file and you're done. So that is one advantage, although we do that with acrylic as well. At least that we strive for, right? Oh, a little sticky. Get my little slip in there. Okay, I believe it is 66. Maybe I should read some instructions, eh? Why don't I read the instructions while I'm curing? Are these instructions? I should have read them first, shouldn't I? I just got so impatient. So squeeze and slice, roll and smooth, and cure. Well, we did that right, didn't we? Okay. And so when you're in the light, it is 30 seconds in an LED. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do another finger. We're going to do full cover pink color. Now, the reason why these are in black, there's a reason for that. These are gel, so you don't want any natural sunlight to get to these, and don't leave them near your light because they will cure. And let's do the cover pink. And then we're going to do a French too. I really want to check that out. It's exciting when you can find something to easily do a French, right? But this one will be, oh, I'm going to take this off too so we can see. Okay, let's get this form on. We'll do a full nail in this in the cover pink so we can see what that color looks like. Okay, so we're just going to squeeze. You gotta squeeze hard. That's what these are for. You can see there's a hole in it, and when you get near the end, you can stick it in and it helps you squeeze it out. I'm sure that there's 4 of them, 4 of those. Pretty sure. Okay, now this is a full nail, so we can do a bit of a bigger bead. We could still call them beads. Okay. You gotta press pretty hard. You press way harder than you would if this was acrylic or any other gel. Now you gotta push it pretty hard. But you got to be careful because it can readjust your form. I'm trying to predict any questions, which could be, could you do this over tips? Yes, you certainly could. I think I'm going to do this almond actually. So you know what I'm going to do? I need a little bit more near the cuticle. You would never waste it, would you? I'm just going to stick that in the cuticle. I need to get some more down here because because it's so thick, I was pushing to get it away and it's just too far away. So now you can see if this was an actual acrylic, look how thick that is. Way too thick for the cuticle. So that's where this comes in. And it is much easier to blend when it's thinner, like a big thick clump like I did. That's a harder, you got to push that down harder. But this is really quite thin near the cuticle and it's actually very easy to blend. That was one of my concerns about this product. I didn't know if you'd be able to blend it at the cuticle as smooth as what you really, really want. And it seems as though you can. That's great. So I am going to take a little chop off here. It's a little too much actually, but just take a little less. And I'm just going to stick that down here. I just wanted a little bit more down here. Just wanted to stick a little bunch in there. And it's blending quite nice. Just the secret is keep that brush nice and wet with your slip. If you don't, it pulls a little. Okay, now I'm going to go in for the shaping. I'm going to go a little almondy on this one, I think. Like a long almond. I want to know how it shapes up to a point. Is it strong? I mean, acrylic tends to be a bit stronger than a gel product, but a lot of it is to do with your structure too, and how long it is and how you built it. It's a pretty color. I do like the color. I could spend all day doing this. I actually quite like it. It's very nice to work with. I'm so used to trying to hurry with acrylic that kind of just, I don't want this video to be too long, but I could take all day. It's got a nice blend and arch, and the arch is actually quite nicely staying there. Sometimes with gel, they can be quite self-leveling, so they kind of fall in the arch. You really have to build it up. But this, you don't. It's just nicely, almost like naturally doing it. It's beautiful. So that's one advantage that I'm learning. You can sort of perfect it and perfect it and perfect it until you got it right. Then you nuke them. You could do them all because they don't move, then nuke it all at once. That could save some time. Just making sure that I get enough polygel. Just going to scoop this little. I'm going to steal this little bit right here. Easier said than done. I'm just going to put a little bit right there. I can't see that side very well because I'm trying to hold this for the camera, but I think I'm a little shy there. This is a good experiment. I could see how this blends. You want it to look the same. You want it to, oh my goodness. It blended in really good. There's no shadowing or nothing. Look at that. That's amazing. That's really great. Oh, wow. Gotta tell you, Gelish, pretty smart. Okay. There we go. So like I say, I could get crazy and just want to perfect this right down to don't even filing at all, but that's not wasting any more of your time. Okay, so let's get on to the French. This is what's so difficult. I mean, French isn't really super popular right now, but this is what makes French so difficult, is making that French line in acrylic before it cures. You're trying to make that French line perfect, right? You're trying to make that smile line just perfect. It's always very difficult to do when it comes to acrylic because it's drying before you get a chance. So let's put the lid on this. Okay, bright white. Now there's two ways to do this. We could lay the white down first and then lay down the pink. Maybe I should do it that way, I don't know. And then we want the light pink. Just my own personal preference. I don't really like cover pink combined with a French. I think that it's just too strong of a color, but I definitely like it on the whole nail. It's absolutely beautiful. I didn't nuke it. Let me just nuke it. Do you mind if I just take a second and nuke it? Just so we know that it's cured and I don't want to bump it and throw it out of whack. You could probably do a flash cure on it. While I'm waiting, I do want to tell you, this beautiful color I'm wearing on my other hand is LeChat. When I was in Vegas, they gave me this perfect match. Remember I was telling you guys the gel polish mixed with the nail polish? They're this exact same color. This color's really cool. It just has this, they call it shift effect. Anyway, I just want to tell you about that. It's really cool. Okay. Yeah. Let's just take this form off. Neat. Okay, I could just go on and on. This is really fun. Okay, so let's get the sheer pink on first. You ready to go to squeeze it hard? Oh, this is a pretty color. quite a bit of pressure when I do that, which is not a problem. It's not like it hurts or anything. It's just different than what I'm used to. Let's do an extended nail bed. I love that look, it's fun. Make sure you just do enough pressure at the cuticle to make it nice and smooth, but it looks like it gets really smooth. Okay, we want to do a reverse French, so we got to leave a little room there for that white to get in there, right? The only thing is, because it's a tube, if I do have too much product, when I take it off, I really can't shove it back in there. If this was a traditional gel pot, you could put it back in the pot. You really will learn your amounts of how much you really want to take out of that tube, because you don't want to waste it. Okay, so what I'm checking is making sure I have enough gully on the side for my French to lay down. Now, because we're doing a French, we don't want this to move. So this would have to be nuked. You definitely want to nuke when you're doing a traditional French. Ooh, it's a little tiny of a heat spike. Not tons. I have a thinner nail bed too, so maybe I'm just feeling that. But when you do it, you'd want to make sure that you want to cure this part down first before you put your white in, because when you put your white on, you don't want to disturb it and move it. It can move a little bit when we're doing the other stuff, but you don't want it to disturb this line at all, because you really want it to be quite sharp. Now I'm going to file this a little bit so I get a nice sharp line, but I do believe that that's what this is for. This is the Nail Surface Cleanse. Oop. Nails are great tools. So I believe that's what they want. They want us to clean it before we file with this. Okay, so let me just make sure this is nice and sharp. This is just the technique for a nice French, right? I'm just making sure that it's nice and sharp. Now, as long as you make it high, I'm just getting into a bit of technique here. As long as you make the pink part high, you can just slam the white stuff on top and then just start filing it, and the whole beautiful French line will appear. But just make that pink high. Now, here's the fun stuff. I'm gonna put the white right on top of it. I can't wait to file it because gel is a little bit softer in filing. So when you apply them so accurately, in theory, if it's softer to file should go quick. So in theory, you should be able to do them quite a bit faster as far as new sets or fills, right? Okay, here goes the white. Forgetting my brush is on the end of this thing. Okay, so we just want to lay the white down. I'm gonna bring this white up in here. You gotta press pretty hard. And you gotta swing it around to the other side. You just gotta make sure that foam doesn't get pushed out. Make sure that it's all happy on the sides there. That should be it. I know it looks like a mess, but when you file it, in theory, it's supposed to be beautiful. We'll see. I'm just gonna check this side. Yeah, it's in there. Okay, let's nuke it. 30 seconds. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the pinky and the thumb, and then we're gonna file and see how nicely they file. So So I've got them all on, and I did them all almond, and I should have done that one almond too, but I'll shape it that way. So I'm gonna start filing them. And the idea with gel, sometimes when you're filing gel, you might notice that it's actually quite a bit softer of a product, so it's easier to file. A lot of times gel can be kind of light and it just flies up in the air. But this stuff is filing more like an acrylic. It seems to be kind of heavier and it's kind of falling. So I did find when I was curing it in the light, when I took the form off, it was a little gummy underneath. So all I did was flip it upside down and stick it under the light and cure it for another 30 seconds. So you might want to do that for the underside. It seems to work quite well. So I'm just gonna shape these guys. Maybe I'll just go all stiletto. I haven't done that in a while. Well, you can do this with a file as well, an e-file, that's not a problem. I'm just doing it with the hand file because it is easier because it's gel. So remember that filing technique I was telling you about? When you make the pink nice and high in the body of it, by the time you file, all the white lines should be revealed. Once you bring down the pink, it'll match up to the white and it should be a good smile line, in theory. Here it comes. Here's the truth. It's not too bad. I'm getting a little bit better at that. I think I will just make them kind of like a stiletto, like a little short stiletto. I should have made that almond. I wasn't even thinking. It's getting so excited. That was my first nail. One thing I can say is, one thing about the clear, I don't know if it's going to be as clear as what I think the most nail technicians would want it to be clear. Because if you're using it to capping any designs, you want to make sure it's really clear so you can see right through. But I don't want to say that yet until we top coat it, because that can change everything. So when I pulled the form off, as I mentioned before, it's still a little bit gummy underneath. So when you pull the form off, turn it upside down, and then you can nuke the underside, but it left it a bit bumpy. You can't get that with a file. So I'm just gonna go underneath with my bit, and I'm just gonna smooth it out under there. Like I said before, you can file this with a drill, the whole thing if you want, with an e-file. But it is quite soft, so it does file quite nicely. And because you have so much time to manipulate it, make it so perfect with your application, it's really quite easy for the filing part. I love underneath bits, but if you use one, be really careful because you could hit the person's hyponychium under there and you could damage it. You don't want to do that. So be very, very gentle. Try this bit on yourself. Practice on yourself for a bit if you're a tech before you do it on people so you really understand where it's going, how it works. Okay. The next step is we use our cleanser and then we're going to put the top coat on to make it beautiful and shiny. So we just want to cleanse it, get rid of all that dust. This way I can check my French too, and I see there's a little bit of shadowing there with the white. See that? That's got to go. There he goes. Don't want that in there. Okay, let's clean these off. Okay, that's nice. Okay, look at my messy towel. I have to clean this off. I can't stand it. Very funny. That was a lie. That was a lie. Now this should be the, okay, Top It Off it's called. I'm just going to use my little balancer again. Okay, I'm just going to, oh, look at that. How beautiful. Nice, that stuff goes on really nice. I like that. Cover pink's quite pretty. Let's look at this clear. It's kind of a frosted. I would say it's not clear. I mean, that's not clear. Let me just put a little gel underneath too and see if that helps it at all. Well, that does help a little because there's dust under there. See, that did help a little bit. Okay, so it's not totally clear. It's kind of almost like what matte polish looks like when it goes on. So it's got a bit of a natural look to it. Okay, and my thumb. Okay, let's give it a here. Put that away. Now I'm going to put some oil on it, and I think it's time for reveal pictures. Oh, I'm excited. We haven't done reveal pictures in a long time. Let's check them out. Well, that was so much fun. Thank you for joining me with my PolyGel demo, and thank you for voting and letting me know what you wanted. And I think, what's the next thing on that vote list? Cameraman? You're the one who did the vote.
I don't remember.
I remember. It's mood changing acrylic. That's what we're gonna do next. I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.